Mr. Shea, sarcasm is not useful here, Mr. Shea. I'd also like to thank the board for this. I understand this process. Mr. Osborne's been here since before the Civil War. Apparently this process has been going on since before the Civil War. This is, as you explained to me, the first night that private property owners were going to have a workshop.
It's 9 years ago it started.
Well, there were other private property owners in there, but this is dedicated for private property owners. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is correct. Can I ask you why Mr. Volkman is here? He's not a private property owner in this town.
In America, you're allowed to have an attorney represent you who understands the law.
But this is Phillipstown and this is a civil meeting.
Oh, this is not
where our community has come together to discuss
the private citizens of this thing have been overlooked. This isn't even about me. It's about other private citizens who fear that there are things going on here that they can't understand in this document. May I ask you a few specific questions? What was that?
Let's not get out of hand. We're not going to get crazy here tonight. We're here to hear your concerns and answer.
Is it true that this document puts institutional interests above businesses and private citizens?
Would you like to answer point by point?
That's a simple question.
Okay. It supports
Yes or no?
institutional landholders because we have several large institutional landholders in town. If that property is
Is
developed,
that the land trust, or what is it?
no,
what is
that
it?
trust doesn't own property per se. We're talking about places like St. David's, places like Lake Surprise Camp. Those institutional landholders are the ones we're trying to support, keep that property in those hands and out of the hands of developers.
Why would everybody not be equal under the law? Businesses, private, there's probably no greater position to hold than to be a citizen of the United States. Why would their interests be subverted?
Yeah, these are larger land holdings. We need to give them an incentive not to sell these properties on. These aren't, we're not talking about bending over backwards for institutional landlords. We're talking about trying to help them hold on to their properties.
So they won't be above the law in private interest.
No, they're not going to be
Fine,
able to.
end of story. Is there anything in this that indicates that people have to get clearance to decide how big their windows are or what color of their house is? Is that anything in there?
No, there's nothing in
Nothing
there
in
about
there.
the color of people's houses and things like that.
Let me just say that there are many people involved in this. The board has done a wonderful job, and I commend you. This fabulous turnout tonight is very important. The land trusts have been lobbying this thing a lot. The people who have houses that they've invested their life in are also conservationists. They want to be able to contain that land forever, pass it to their kids, maybe make a buck on it someday. They don't want anything in a government that diminishes that right. So as long as that process recognizes the sanctity of the individual citizen of this country, George Washington said, a violation of my land is a violation of my being. That is in our core for 230 years. Sometimes people pass documents from 100 pages to 2,000 pages. The Constitution was about 35 pages. You didn't need a lawyer to read it, and it stood us well for 230 years. So let's keep it simple, and let's make sure that private citizens get the same respect as institutional people. That's all.